I know you've heard this before, time and time again. To lose fat, you need to be in a caloric deficit. However, your situation right now is you're eating less, you're training more, but your body still looks the same. Initially, at the start of your fat loss journey, you were losing weight like this, but now you are stuck. If I'm going to be honest, the chances are you're making a few mistakes I'm going to be covering in this video. And once you fix those mistakes, fat loss becomes simple, easy, and I would say even predictable. So no time wasted. Let's run it. Let's go. Let's go. You know what? Sub to the channel. So you think you're in a deficit, but your body is silently canceling it out. So this is the first point, and it's a silent killer. It's your needs. Your needs simply means relax, relax, relax. It's your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And if I'm going to be honest, literally just means your movements. So if you literally break down the word, it is non-exercise. So it simply means the things that are not exercise that you do that are still burning energy. That's literally it. So now, when I say the silent killers, you are eating less, but the problem is you move less because you have less energy. You sit more, you still have less energy. You also fidget less. The reason why I can confidently say this is subconsciously, because you're actually in that caloric deficit, you're going to realize that at instances where you're supposed to be probably taking the stairs, you're like, I'm on this deficit, I'm on this diet, I don't really want to push myself too hard. Let's say you typically would walk to the grocery shop, you're realizing that now you're probably even maybe driving. Really, you would think that fat loss happens actually inside of the gym. The gym is only 2 hours of your day. You have a whole 22 hours outside of the gym that you're literally having to use your needs. So that's the reason why I had to explain your needs. Simply because your needs constitute around 22 hours of your day. I wouldn't say 22 because you are sleeping, but your needs constitute the rest part of your day. I'm heavy on analogies. So you know what happens when your phone is actually at 10%? Your phone being at 10% simply means that the brightness is going to go down. You're going to be on low power saving mode. You know what's crazy? Your phone being at 10% is literally you watching this video, being in your caloric deficit. So now you have every single thing. You just want to just conserve energy. Stay in one place. You don't really want to do too much because it's weighing out your energy. And if I'm going to be honest, the fix really would be you have to move more. And I'm going to give you a quick hack because I'm heavy on giving you solutions. And I also want you to be imputing 20% of your efforts to reap 80% of your results. And that's the reason for this channel. So I want you to have lazy movement. So this is movement when you are scrolling on your phone. Like literally when you're scrolling, just literally just be moving. Another hack I do is when I'm cutting chicken or when I'm cooking food in my apartment, what I do is I'm literally just moving this way, getting my few steps in. Simple hack again would also be, let's say you are working 30 minutes to 60 minutes, or let's say you're working an hour to around an hour, 30 minutes. In between those times, I want you to just be taking like 10-minute walks in your apartment or workplace. This will easily allow you to just increase your steps. And one thing I realized was when I had a client do lazy movement, which is a literal cheat code, this literally just sped up the fat loss journey. Also, I've literally had a client not even fix his diet and just literally just move more, creating even a deficit as well, driving further his fat loss. And I'm telling you, that's why I can confidently tell you, once you can implement, the fat loss becomes easy. This silent killer is just the first one. The next point is why your diet is actually killing you. Stick with me, stick with me. The next point is point 2. You're actually in a wrong deficit. This right here is your resting metabolic rate is not equal to your TDE. I know I just spoke gibberish. It sounds like I just spoke rubbish, but your resting metabolic rate is simply, you know what, I don't even want to even complicate it. What happens typically is that you go on calorie calculator and you type in, you fill in your information, and they tell you you're supposed to have 2K calories. They tell you, oh, be in a deficit, take out, let's say 500 because you guys want it quick typically. So you then do 1,500 deficit. And the problem is with this deficit is that you're taking 500 from the wrong number. That's the problem. So you're in a wrong deficit. I'm explaining it right now is your resting metabolic rates. This is literally while you're resting, the energy your body is going to be burning. Are at rest, calories are burns. Your TDE is your total daily energy expenditure. And this literally means that it's your literal calories that your body needs to do every single thing. So this is your calories total. The problem is you guys are in the wrong deficit because you're taking a deficit from your resting metabolic rates. This is literally just the calories your body needs for it to just function. So for it to breathe, for it to survive. And you guys will take a 500 from this number right here. So now it feels like you are dying on that deficit. Food noise is killing you, constant starvation, you're having cravings like hell. That's the reason why you're having every of these symptoms. You already know I love my analogies. So if you didn't understand what I was saying the first time, I'm gonna drive it home again, proper this time. The analogy I'm gonna give you is that your body is a car and your RMR, which is your resting metabolic rate, is just the engine idle. So it's not doing anything. When you are breathing, when your heart is pumping, it is literally just the energy that your body is going to be burning for you to just stay alive. While you're resting, your body burns energy. Now your TDE is literally the engine driving all day. So that would include when you are walking, when you are moving, your energy in the gym. This is your total daily calorie. This is why your TDE is so important. And typically what you guys are doing is that you guys are taking a deficit from your resting metabolic rates. All what your body needs for it to function is where you're taking a deficit from. And that mismatch is what causes you to feel tired all the time, is what causes your hormones to feel very much off, is what causes the increased cravings that is almost driving you nuts. It's simply because you're taking wrong deficits. So now the fix would be you need to take a deficit from your actual TDE, your total daily calories, which will involve every single thing. When you do that, this will enable you actually be on the right deficit. The crazy thing is you may actually even get this wrong deficit right. But the next point is the reason why you suddenly stopped losing fat. If you've gotten every single point before this right, this is the reason why your deficit currently isn't working anymore. You have seen the weight and the scale drop down quick. But right now you realize that you're checking the scale and it's not looking the same. It's not dropping as quickly as it should. Or for some of you guys have been at the same weight for a consistent period. What happens is your old deficit is now your new maintenance. Your old deficit right now is now your new maintenance, unfortunately. The body is stupidly small. So the analogy I'm going to give you for this one is, so this is literally the analogy. Your body is so small, it's like, oh, we've been eating 1,500 calories consistently and we've actually been losing a lot of weight. But your body really is built for survival, it's not built for abundance. And the reason why I say this is because when you are eating at that 1,500 calories, your body then realizes that we don't need to always be cutting out fats. It doesn't understand that what we're trying to do is we're trying to actually look good. So it then says, you can actually start holding on to a little bit more fats. You don't need to actually just be dropping the fat stores just like that. And now, obviously, if I'm telling you the problem, I'm going to give you a solution. Now, the fix is going to be, I'm going to clean this. Look how it's going to clean. Hey. If I'm going to be honest, the fix has to be reevaluate. Now, I want you to go back to your previous photos, every single thing. I want you to see if you're actually losing weight because weight loss is actually different from fat loss. I'll get to that in a minute. But I just want you to just check every single photo. And the actual fix is you have to adjust your calories again. You either would have to adjust your calories or you'd have to move more. And I'm not going to lie, I do understand that adjusting your calories is already pissing. Like me personally, I hate adjusting calories. And I know that you're not in the mood to do none of that. You're tired of already reducing the calories. So all I'm going to just tell you is just literally just move more. I've already given you the points to actually just move more. Another hack I'm just going to give you for regards to you moving more simply would be, let's say every single time you eat, just go outside for a calm little walk. It's going to help your digestion. It's also just going to help you start burning calories. The next point is what destroys people mentally. Right, now the next point is point 4, the scale is lying. And you might look at me, how can I confidently tell you that the scale is lying? I know for a fact that's the reason why. Scientifically, weight loss is actually different from fat loss. Let's say you check yourself in the morning and you actually see that you've gone up in weight. Let's say last 2 days you were 200 pounds, now you're 202 pounds, and you actually are thinking that, oh, I'm failing. No, you're not failing. What the scale tells you is actually not you gaining fat. You know, I love my analogies. So, water does not equal fat. That's literally it. So, the reason why your weight would fluctuate would depend on a lot of things. Your weight is usually dependent on the water. Fat is an entirely different thing. So, whenever you check your weights on the scale, you are seeing a lot of things. Whenever you check the weight in the morning, if you think that you've gained those 2 pounds of fat, let me tell you, 1 pound of fat equals to 3,500 calories. And I know you didn't eat that last night. Most likely you didn't. And let's say even the scale even went up. So that's 2 pounds of fat. That means that you ate 7k calories last night. So, and that's really not even possible. You know that that's not possible. And if you're even on a fat loss journey, you're most likely not doing this. I believe. It still doesn't even matter. So let's actually look at what your weight depends on. So every time you step on that scale, what are you actually seeing? What your weight depends on is water, salt, carbs, stress, and sleep. I'm going to be explaining everything. Let's say you had a salty meal last night. What you're going to realize is the water was being pulled in, and that's the reason why you went up 1 or 2 pounds, or maybe even 3. Let's say you had a heavy carb meal last night. That's another reason why the water was pulled in, and that's what you're seeing on your scale. These two can also affect what you see on your weight. So every single time you see those fluctuations in your weight, you should understand that these are the factors that contribute to that. Another common misconception I just wanted to debunk is people always think that, oh, we shouldn't eat carbs. Not really. You need carbs to actually function. And when people cut out carbs, what they do is they usually realize that they cut out water weight, and they think that, oh, I'm making a lot of progress. Not entirely. The carbs just hold water, and that's the reason why you are seeing the scale drop down quicker. You know. I'm not going to tell you what you're doing wrong without actually telling you what you actually need to do to fix it. If you can't depend on the weight scale, what can you depend on? You can depend on these factors. You can track how your waist looks like. How is it looking like? What is the shoulder to waist ratio looking like? Is it reducing every single time? Whenever you're testing your trousers, is there more space inside? Those are things that actually determine if you're actually losing fat, because as you already know, 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. You most likely didn't eat that last night. Next thing would then be your progress pictures. What are they telling you? Are they actually changing? When they're changing, it simply means that you're obviously doing the right thing. Another thing I will tell you is your weekly averages. So let's say every single morning I'm going to be telling you, obviously get yourself a scale. When you have yourself a scale, when you wake up in the morning, weigh yourself every single morning before you eat food and before you even drink water. You take the weekly average of your weights. That would give you a little bit more of an accurate description. The last point is actually even more crazy because most people are actually doing this, and I was even a victim of this. This is a mistake that I myself was guilty of at the time: inconsistency. And I'm not calling you inconsistent. I respect the fact that you're actually on your fat loss journey, and I know it can be frustrating. What I'm talking about is the weekend discipline and the weekend chaos. So for me, I was averaging around 1,800 calories to around 2,200 calories. So let me just say I was averaging 2k calories on the weekdays. However, the weekends, oh my days, I felt like I earned the weekend madness. I could buy like wafer rolls. I could be mixing wafers, wafer rolls, cereals, and milk. Even condensed milk. I was doing madness. I could blow off my calories. I think sometimes in a day or two, I could have eaten 3k calories to around like maybe 5k. I was just eating because I personally low-key felt like I earned it. And you know the crazy thing at the time? During the weekdays, I typically will have around 15k steps. So my thought process was, okay, if I'm going to be having this weekend chaos, I'm going to be bumping up my steps to 30k. Crazily enough, because I do understand that you can move to also create a deficit, I was moving more, but my weight was the same weight. I stayed the same spot. I was 83 kilograms for weeks actually. When I took a step back, I wasn't trying to lose weight, but I realized how stupid I was. The analogy really is you're canceling your progress sometimes. You're locked in during the weekdays, you're going out with your boys, going out with the guy them, going out with your girlfriends, and before you know it, you cancel your progress. The analogy literally is you're taking 2 steps forward and 2 steps backwards. If I'm gonna be honest, I would literally just tell you that you can try and find healthy alternatives. I don't really like the idea of fitness destroying your social life. Never really been on that. So what I'm gonna say is try and find like healthy alternatives. So let's say typically when you go out with your friends, you would have a normal Coke. Try and go for Coke Zero. Say you really like this wafer, you can try and replace the wafer with protein bar. Just try and look for easier or healthier alternatives. I'm not trying to tell you that you should cut off your cravings and all of that. I can also tell you that you should also reduce the friction. So let's say you go out with the boys. Let's say you guys usually will order pizza. Let's say what you then do during that time period is you're gonna tell the boys, let's cook tonight. So you're gonna be reducing the friction for you actually blowing off your calories. A big fix obviously has to be just the consistency over perfection. You don't always need to be locked in during the weekdays and you fall off during the weekends. No, it doesn't have to be like that. I need you to structure things properly where you can consistently repeat the same efforts. Alright, I will not let you leave this video without giving you a recap. A silent killer is your needs. You need to try and be moving more. I know you're in a deficit. I know that it can be sometimes very easy for you to just want to chill. But I've literally given you hacks to just get more steps during the day. When you are scrolling, walk. When you are cooking, shift around. Literally that fidgeting movement. While you're making your calls, walk as well. Space your steps. Now you're in the wrong deficit. You need to be taking calories from your TDE. Take the calories from your TDE, not your resting metabolic rates. And your TDE is your total calories for you to burn for the whole day. Your resting metabolic rate is the one that literally will just keep you alive. Stop suffering yourself with this. You should actually take out calories from this. You should actually take out calories from this. It was almost looking like I was giving the FU sign. Your body adapts. At one point, the deficit you are creating needs to go even further. So at that point in time, you need to just be honest with yourself and you either need to move more or you need to cut your food, preferably moving more. Next thing is the scale is lying. I'm not gonna lie. Confidently, I can say that, and you already know that fat loss is different from weight loss. Inconsistency. You being locked in on the weekdays does not only translate to you messing up on the weekends. Try and have a consistent effort in the weekdays and the weekends. Now, something that's literally going to change your fat loss journey is this right here. I'm going to get into it. I want to make fat loss so easy that it feels illegal. And that's the reason why I'm giving you more extra game. I know a big thing with regards to fat loss has to be the emotions. The emotions of you're trying so hard and it's sometimes at one point, it feels like nothing really is moving forward. This is going to change your fat loss game and your fat loss journey. You need more data because when you have more data, it's going to override the emotion. When you have data, you're going to have clarity. You can visibly see every single thing that's going on. I had a time where someone was literally not losing weight. Like, he could swear he was on a deficit. If you put a gun on his balls, he could literally swear that, oh, I'm on a deficit. However, when we looked at certain data like his steps went down stupid. That data he had is what gave him clarity. And when you have more clarity, you're going to have less emotions, which is usually the reason why people quit, because they think that all what they're doing is not working. When you also have less emotions, it's going to get you more consistency, and the consistency will eventually get you the results you want and the body you always wanted. For data, we're going to have to be tracking a lot of metrics that would enhance your fat loss journey. So we're going to be tracking your steps, your food, your training, and your sleep. Once we can track every single one of these metrics, this is what makes the fat loss journey automatic and helps you actually figure out why you're not losing weight in the first place. And if you literally want every single thing done for you, a structure and a system that fits your lifestyle, literally customized for you to get you the results you want, I'm going to tell you that you should book a call with the link. And I'll personally really love to hear from you. I literally make fitness complement someone's lifestyle. I don't try and make it take away from your lifestyle. I also don't try and make you suffer while you're actually on the journey to become better. And with that said, that's the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen. If you're still interested in coaching, you can check the link. Let me know what other topics you actually like me to cover on this channel. Stay locked in. God bless. Make sure you're putting God first and you're grinding to become better too. Peace out, guys.